The unexpected visitor. In the vast emptiness of space, Commander Sarah Chen never expected her routine patrol of Earth's orbital defense network to change her life forever. The year was 2157, and humanity had finally established a significant presence beyond their home planet. The gleaming orbital stations served as both humanity's first line of defense and a testament to their technological advancement. Sarah's station, Defense Platform Alpha 7, hung in low Earth orbit like a metallic spider web, its sensors constantly scanning for any signs of unauthorized entry into Earth's space. It was a quiet job, mostly involving system checks and occasional debris tracking. That all changed on what started as another ordinary Tuesday. "Commander, we're picking up something strange," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display. Well, you should see this yourself." Sarah moved to his station, her zero-gravity training evident in her fluid movements. The readings showed an object approaching Earth at impossible speeds, yet it wasn't following any normal trajectory. It was moving like nothing they'd ever encountered before. "Run a full-spectrum analysis," Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite the growing tension, "and get me a visual." The main screen flickered to life, showing what appeared to be a massive vessel, easily 3 times the size of their station. Its hull seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly iridescence, like oil on water. But what caught Sarah's attention were the distinct battle scars along its surface. This wasn't a peaceful exploration vessel. "Ma'am," Rodriguez's voice cracked slightly, "it's slowing down, and it's broadcasting something." Before Sarah could respond, a deep, resonant voice filled the command center, speaking perfect English with an accent that seemed to shift between every known human dialect simultaneously. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Kexara of the Stellar Dominion. Your world has been chosen. Prepare to receive our emissaries." Sarah's training kicked in immediately. "Alert Earth Command. Get me direct lines to all major defense centers. And somebody wake up the UN Security Council. They're about to earn their paychecks." But as emergency protocols engaged around her, Sarah noticed something odd about the alien vessel's approach. Despite its intimidating size and battle-worn appearance, it was making no aggressive moves. In fact, it had positioned itself in a deliberately vulnerable position relative to Earth's defense grid. "They're sending a shuttle," Rodriguez announced. "Small craft, minimal weapons signature. Request vector, this station." Sarah made a decision that would later be debated in military academies for decades. "Clear the landing bay. I'm going to meet them personally." "Commander," her XO protested, "regulations clearly state." "Regulations never anticipated first contact, Marcus," Sarah cut him off. "Sometimes you have to trust your instincts. Besides," she added with a slight smile, "they clearly went to the trouble of learning our language. It would be rude not to say hello." The shuttle that landed in their bay was a marvel of engineering, its surface covered in what appeared to be living metal that rippled like muscle tissue. As the vessel's hatch opened with a soft hiss, Sarah stood her ground, flanked by a small security team armed with non-lethal weapons, a symbolic gesture at best against beings capable of interstellar travel. What emerged from the shuttle defied all expectations. The alien was humanoid, but that's where any similarity to humans ended. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, with skin that seemed to shift colors like an octopus, the being radiated both power and grace. Most striking were its eyes, 4 of them, arranged in a diamond pattern, each one containing what looked like swirling galaxies. "Commander Sarah Chen," the being spoke, its voice the same as the one that had broadcasted earlier. "I am Admiral Kexara. Thank you for receiving us without immediately opening fire. It speaks well of your species' wisdom." Sarah maintained her professional composure, though her heart was racing. "Welcome aboard, Admiral. I must admit, your arrival is unexpected, as is your knowledge of our language and my name." Kexara made a gesture that might have been a smile. It was hard to tell with alien facial features. "We have been watching, learning. Your world faces a choice, Commander." one that will determine the fate of not just Earth, but countless civilizations across the galaxy. A choice? Sarah asked, her mind racing with possibilities and potential threats. Yes, Kexara replied, its skin shifting to a deep blue. Your species has reached a crucial point in its development. You stand on the brink of true interstellar travel, but you also stand on the brink of self-destruction. We are here to offer you a path forward if you are willing to prove yourselves worthy. Sarah carefully considered her next words. And if we refuse this opportunity, then we leave and you face what comes next alone. But know this, you are not the only species reaching for the stars, and not all of them share your potential for greatness. As Sarah processed these words, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Rodriguez's voice came over the comm. Commander, multiple unknown contacts just appeared in the outer solar system. They're heading straight for Earth. Kexara's skin rippled with patterns of red and gold. It seems the choice will need to be made sooner than expected. Commander Chen, your first test begins now. Show us how humanity handles an impossible situation. Sarah looked at the tactical display showing the approaching threats, then back at the alien admiral. In that moment, she realized that humanity's greatest challenge, and perhaps its greatest opportunity, had just begun. Well, she said with a grim smile, I suppose we should start by combining our sensor data. Those ships aren't going to wait while we finish our introductions. The first contact had been made, but it was only the beginning. Humanity's trial by fire was about to begin, and Sarah Chen found herself standing at the crossroads of history, ready to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. The first test. The unknown vessels approaching Earth moved with an unnatural precision that sent chills down Sarah's spine. On the main display of Defense Platform Alpha 7, their signatures appeared as angry red dots against the black void of space. 17 ships, all matching configurations we've never seen before, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers flying over the holographic controls. They're not responding to any hails. Admiral Kexara's skin shifted to a deep purple as the aliens studied the tactical display. The Vraxan horde, the Admiral's resonant voice carried a note of disgust. Scavengers who prey on developing worlds. They seek to harvest your resources, and your people. Sarah's jaw tightened. Not on my watch. How long until they're in weapons range? 20 minutes at current speed, Rodriguez answered. Your defensive capabilities are impressive for a young species, Kexara observed, multiple eyes scanning the readouts. But alone, they will not be sufficient against Vraxan shield technology. Sarah turned to the towering alien. Then I suppose it's time to see how well we work together. You said this was a test. Well, I'm not planning to fail it. The next 15 minutes were a blur of activity. Under Sarah's direction, Earth's orbital defense platforms began repositioning themselves in a pattern that seemed to puzzle even Kexara. The Admiral's shuttle crew quickly integrated their advanced sensor data with Earth's defense grid, providing unprecedented detail about the approaching threat. The Vraxan rely on overwhelming force, Kexara explained. They expect young civilizations to panic, to waste resources trying to defend everything at once. Sarah nodded, a plan forming in her mind. Then let's show them something they don't expect. Lieutenant, get me a direct line to Earth Command. And Admiral, I need to know exactly how your ship's weapons differ from ours. As the Vraxan fleet drew closer, Sarah's strategy took shape. Earth's defensive platforms appeared to be scattered, presenting what looked like gaps in their coverage. The Vraxan, true to Kexara's prediction, moved to exploit these apparent weaknesses. They're taking the bait, Sarah murmured, watching the enemy ships split into smaller groups. Admiral, is your vessel in position? Kexara's skin rippled with what Sarah had learned to recognize as anticipation. We stand ready, Commander Chen. The first wave of Vraxan ships entered what they thought was a gap in Earth's defenses. That's when Sarah sprung her trap. Execute Pattern Omega, she commanded. The seemingly scattered defense platforms suddenly activated their maneuvering thrusters in perfect synchronization, their positions forming an interlocking field of fire. Simultaneously, Kexara's massive vessel emerged from behind Earth's moon, its advanced weapon systems already charged. The Vraxen found themselves caught in a deadly crossfire. Earth's defensive platforms launched salvos of conventional weapons, which the aliens easily deflected with their shields. But this was merely a distraction. The real damage came from precisely targeted shots from Kexara's ship, using frequencies specifically tuned to disrupt Vraxen shield technology. Direct hits on 3 enemy vessels, Rodriguez reported, excitement creeping into his voice. Their shields are fluctuating. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Now for Phase 2. All platforms switch to concentrated beam weapons, targeting coordinates being transmitted now. The combined assault was devastating. With their shields compromised, the Vraxen ships found themselves vulnerable to Earth's more primitive but still potent weapons. 2 enemy vessels erupted in silent explosions, while others began desperate evasive maneuvers. But the Vraxen weren't finished. Their remaining ships regrouped, adopting a new formation that Sarah hadn't anticipated. They're preparing to launch boarding pods, Kexara warned. A desperate tactic, but dangerous. Let them come, Sarah replied, her voice steel. Rodriguez, activate the close-range defense grid and get me Captain Winters on the moon base. Tell her it's time for Operation Thunderbolt. As hundreds of Vraxen boarding pods streaked toward Earth's orbital defenses, a new player entered the game. From the lunar surface, dozens of small, agile fighters launched, piloted by Earth's best space combat pilots. These vessels, recently upgraded with technology shared by Kexara's people, darted between the pods with incredible precision. Your pilots show remarkable skill, Kexara observed, all 4 eyes tracking the dogfights unfolding around them. Few species master space combat so quickly. We had practice, Sarah replied, thinking of the countless simulations and training exercises that had prepared them for this moment. Sometimes being the new kids on the block has its advantages. We're used to adapting quickly. The battle raged for another hour, but the outcome was never really in doubt after the initial ambush. The combination of Earth's defensive determination and Kexara's advanced technology proved too much for the Vraxen. The surviving enemy ships finally retreated, jumping to faster-than-light travel with their drives barely functioning. As the all-clear signals echoed through the station, Sarah turned to Kexara. So, Admiral, did we pass your test? The alien's skin shifted through a rainbow of colors before settling on a warm gold. Pass? Commander Chen, you have exceeded all expectations. Most young species would have either panicked and fought alone or relied entirely on our assistance. Instead, you crafted a strategy that perfectly combined both our strengths. Sarah allowed herself to relax slightly. Well, humanity has always been good at improvising. Though I have to admit, having some advanced alien technology on our side certainly helped. Technology is merely a tool, Kexara responded. It is how you use it that matters. And you have proven that humanity possesses something far more valuable than advanced weapons. And what's that? The wisdom to know when to fight, the courage to face overwhelming odds, and the ability to work alongside those who are different from you. These are the true marks of a species ready to join the galactic community. As cleanup operations began around them, Sarah couldn't help but feel proud. Humanity had faced its first real extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious. But more than that, they had shown they could adapt, collaborate, and innovate under pressure. So what happens now? She asked Kexara. The Admiral's skin rippled with what Sarah was beginning to recognize as amusement. Now, Commander Chen, we begin the real work. The Vraxen were merely the beginning. There are wonders and dangers in this galaxy that you cannot imagine. But first, I believe our planetary leaders will have many questions for both of us. Sarah looked at the tactical display, where hundreds of ships from Earth's various nations were converging on their position. That's probably an understatement, Admiral. I hope you're ready for a lot of meetings. Diplomatic discussions are a small price to pay for finding worthy allies, Kexara replied. Besides, after watching you handle the Vraxen, I'm quite interested to see how humanity tackles the challenges of galactic politics. As they prepared to face the inevitable barrage of questions and debriefings, Sarah couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning of a much bigger adventure. Humanity had proven itself in battle, now they would have to prove themselves in peace. The stars seemed a little brighter now, full of both promise and challenge, and Sarah Chen, along with the rest of humanity, was ready to face whatever came next. Secrets of the Stars. The United Nations Assembly Hall buzzed with unprecedented energy. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat in tense anticipation as Commander Sarah Chen stood at the podium, Admiral Kexara's imposing figure beside her. 3 days had passed since the Vraxen attack, and the world was still reeling from the revelation that not only were humans not alone in the universe, but they had just fought their first interstellar battle. The events of the past 72 hours have changed everything, Sarah began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. But what happened in orbit was only the beginning. Admiral Kexara has shared information that both excites and concerns us. The alien leader stepped forward, skin shifting to a calm blue as its resonant voice filled the chamber. Your world stands at a crossroads. The Vraxen attack was not random. They came because they detected something unique about Earth, something that makes your world invaluable to the greater galactic community. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Sarah watched as diplomats and leaders leaned forward in their seats, hanging on every word. Beneath your oceans, Kexara continued, in the deepest trenches where no human has yet explored, lie deposits of a material we call stellarite. It is crucial for advanced faster-than-light travel, and it is incredibly rare. Earth has the largest known deposits in this sector of the galaxy. The murmurs turned to shocked whispers. Sarah had already heard this information during private briefings, but she still felt its weight. Earth, their humble home, held the key to interstellar travel. This is why we came, Kexara explained. Not to conquer or control, but to offer partnership. The Stellar Dominion believes that emerging species should be given the chance to develop naturally to prove their worth. The Vraxen attack, while unfortunate, demonstrated humanity's potential. A representative from China stood up. And what exactly does this partnership entail? Sarah took over, knowing this was the delicate part. Admiral Kexara's people are offering to help us develop our own faster-than-light capabilities. In exchange, we would join the Stellar Dominion as equal partners, sharing our stellarite resources while maintaining full sovereignty over Earth. The assembly erupted in a mixture of excitement and skepticism. Questions flew from all directions until the Secretary-General had to call for order. There's more, Sarah continued once quiet returned. The Stellar Dominion has provided us with data about immediate threats to Earth. The Vraxen aren't the only species interested in our planet. We need to accelerate our defensive capabilities, and we need to do it together. What followed was 4 hours of intense discussion, debate, and planning. Sarah watched with pride as humanity's leaders, despite their differences, began working together toward a common goal. The presence of an external threat and the promise of advanced technology had accomplished what centuries of diplomacy couldn't: true global cooperation. As the session ended, Sarah found herself in a private chamber with Kexara and a small group of military and scientific leaders. Dr. Elena Martinez, Earth's leading xenobiologist, was practically vibrating with excitement as she examined readings from the stellarite deposits. "The molecular structure is unlike anything we've ever seen," Elena exclaimed. "It seems to respond to both electromagnetic and gravitational fields in ways that defy our current understanding of physics." "Your enthusiasm is refreshing," Kexara observed, skin flickering with amusement. "Many species take these wonders for granted. Your fresh perspective might lead to innovations we haven't considered." Sarah watched the interaction with interest. In just a few days, the initial fear of the alien visitors had given way to cautious collaboration, but something was still nagging at her. "Admiral," she said quietly, drawing Kexara aside, "you still haven't told us everything, have you? There's another reason you chose to contact us now." The alien's skin rippled with dark patterns, a sign of concern, Sarah had learned. "Perceptive as always, Commander Chen. Yes, there is more. The Stellar Dominion is changing. Some members believe we should be more aggressive in our expansion. The success of our partnership with Earth could determine the future course of galactic politics." "No pressure," Sarah muttered. Their conversation was interrupted by urgent footsteps. Lieutenant Rodriguez burst into the room, his face pale. "Commander, Admiral, we're detecting multiple anomalies in the Kuiper Belt. They match the energy signatures of the Vraxan ships, but bigger." Kexara's skin turned a deep crimson. "They're calling for reinforcements. This is unprecedented. The Vraxan rarely commit such resources to a single target." "Unless they know about the Stellarite," Sarah concluded. She turned to the assembled leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen, it seems our timetable just got accelerated. Dr. Martinez, how quickly can you begin analyzing those deep-sea deposits?" Elena straightened her lab coat. "With the Admiral's scanning technology, we could start immediately. But extraction will be another matter entirely." "You'll have whatever resources you need," the US president assured her. "I think I speak for all of us when I say that global defense takes priority now." Sarah felt a familiar surge of anticipation, the same feeling she got before a critical mission. "Admiral, how long until those reinforcements arrive?" "At their current speed, 4 Earth days," Kexara replied. "Then we have 4 days to prepare a proper welcome," Sarah said, her mind already formulating strategies. "This time, we'll be ready for them. Lieutenant, get me a secure line to all orbital defense platforms. Dr. Martinez, I want you and your team at the Mariana Trench facility within the hour. And someone wake up every submarine captain we've got. We're going to need them." As the room burst into activity, Sarah caught Kexara studying her with all 4 eyes. "You seem almost eager for the coming battle, Commander Chen." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Not eager, Admiral. But humanity has spent its entire history preparing for moments like this. We've fought among ourselves for so long, imagining threats from the stars. Now that those threats are real, we finally have a reason to stand together." "And that," Kexara's skin shifted to a bright, almost glowing gold, "is exactly why we chose your species. Now, shall we begin planning Earth's defense? I believe you humans have a saying about humanity's greatest achievements arising from its greatest challenges." "That we do, Admiral," Sarah replied, turning to the tactical display where the incoming Vraxan fleet's positions were marked in ominous red. "That we do." The next few days would test humanity like never before, but as Sarah looked around the room at humans and aliens working side by side, she felt nothing but confidence. Earth had faced extinction-level threats before, from ice ages to asteroids to their own nuclear weapons. They had survived them all. This time would be no different. They would survive, adapt, and emerge stronger. It was what humans did best. Race against time. The Mariana Trench research facility hummed with activity as Sarah Chen descended in the advanced submersible vessel. Beside her, Dr. Elena Martinez monitored an array of instruments that combined Earth technology with devices provided by Admiral Kexara. The pitch-black waters outside their viewport seemed to swallow the vessel's lights. 30,000 feet and descending, Elena reported, her eyes gleaming with excitement despite their dire circumstances. "The Stellarite readings are getting stronger." Sarah checked the time display. 72 hours remained until the Vraxan reinforcements arrived. Any sign of the deposits Kexara's scans detected. "Better," Elena replied, adjusting their course slightly. "We're picking up something the initial scans missed. The Stellarite isn't just sitting in deposits, it's forming patterns. Almost like a structure." Their submersible's lights suddenly caught something that made both women gasp. Rising from the ocean floor was what appeared to be a massive crystalline formation, its surface pulsing with faint blue energy. But what truly shocked them was its clearly artificial nature. This was no natural formation. "Commander Chen," Kexara's voice crackled through their comm system from the surface. "Are you seeing this?" "If you mean the giant alien structure that's been sitting under our ocean all this time, then yes," Sarah replied, her mind racing with implications. "Any idea what we're looking at?" The Admiral's response carried a note of awe. This is unprecedented. It appears to be a precursor installation." Precursor. Elena leaned closer to the viewport, her scientific curiosity overtaking any fear. "You mean there was an earlier civilization?" "The precursors vanished millennia ago," Kexara explained. "They left installations throughout the galaxy, but most are dormant or destroyed. To find one intact and powered by pure stellarite." Their discussion was interrupted by urgent beeping from Elena's instruments. "Something's happening," she reported. "The structure, it's responding to our presence." The crystalline formation began to pulse more rapidly, lines of energy racing across its surface. A beam of light suddenly shot out, scanning their vessel from bow to stern. Genetic analysis complete. An alien voice echoed through their cabin, speaking in perfect English. "Human presence detected. Activation protocols initiated." Sarah's hand instinctively moved to where her sidearm would normally be. "Admiral, any insight on what's happening?" "This is unexpected," Kexara admitted. "The precursors were known to leave safeguards on their technology, usually keyed to specific genetic markers. But for it to recognize humans..." The structure's pulsing increased, and suddenly the water around them began to churn. Massive sections of the installation were moving, reconfiguring themselves like pieces of an enormous puzzle. "Emergency surfaces," Sarah commanded, but Elena grabbed her arm. "Wait, look." She pointed to their instruments. "The stellarite readings, they're stabilizing. I think it's trying to help us." The alien voice spoke again. "Attention human visitors. This facility was designed to activate upon contact with genetically compatible species. Your presence indicates evolutionary parameters have been met, initiating knowledge transfer." A holographic display materialized in their cabin, showing complex technical schematics and equations. Elena's eyes widened as she began to understand what she was seeing. "This is incredible," she breathed. "It's showing us how to properly harness stellarite energy. The applications, this goes way beyond faster-than-light travel. This is technology that could revolutionize everything." "How long to process all this data?" Sarah asked, keeping one eye on their depth phages. "Days, maybe weeks to fully understand it," Elena replied. "But some of these principles, we could apply them immediately to enhance our planetary defenses." "Which we'll need," Kexara's voice cut in urgently. "Our long-range sensors just detected additional Vraxin signatures. They're accelerating their approach. We now have less than 48 hours." Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. "Elena, what's the quickest way to adapt this precursor technology to our existing defense systems?" The scientist was already furiously taking notes. "The stellarite manipulation principles could be used to create energy fields far more powerful than conventional shields. If we could extract enough raw material, the operation would be dangerous," Kexara warned. "Deep-sea mining at these pressures, with so little time." "We don't have a choice," Sarah decided. "Admiral, can your ship's teleportation technology function at these depths?" "With significant power consumption, yes. But Commander Chen, there's something else you should know. If the Vraxin discover this installation..." "They won't," Sarah stated firmly, "because we're going to use it against them. Elena, start transmitting this data to the surface. I want every scientist and engineer we have working on integration protocols. Admiral, we'll need your ship's power systems to handle the initial stellarite extraction." "And what about the installation itself?" Elena asked, still recording the stream of technical data. Sarah studied the massive structure, its crystalline surface now pulsing in rhythm with their vessel's systems. We protect it at all costs. This isn't just about defending Earth anymore. This technology, this knowledge, it belongs to humanity. The precursors chose us as their inheritors, and I intend to prove they made the right choice. The next 36 hours were a blur of activity. Surface ships positioned themselves above the trench as Kexara's vessel coordinated the delicate extraction operation. Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock, integrating the precursor technology with Earth's defense systems. Sarah split her time between the underwater installation and the orbital platforms, overseeing the upgrades personally. The precursor facility continued to share its secrets, each revelation more astounding than the last. It's not just a database, Elena explained during one of their brief rest periods. It's a teaching tool. The precursors didn't just leave us their technology, they left us the knowledge to understand and improve upon it. They must have seen something in our genetic makeup, some potential. Which the Vraxen will be here to test very soon, Sarah reminded her. How close are we to full implementation? Elena checked her tablet. The orbital platforms are at 60% upgrade capacity. The Stellarate integration is working better than we hoped. But Sarah, she hesitated, there's something else. The facility's been showing us another set of schematics. I think it's plans for a weapon. Sarah's exhaustion vanished instantly. What kind of weapon? The kind that could end a war before it begins, Elena replied softly. The kind that could also make us a target for every advanced species in the galaxy. Before Sarah could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through on all channels. Multiple Vraxen ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They're ahead of schedule. Sarah was already moving. Elena, upload everything you can to secure servers. Admiral Kexara, what's your status? In position, the alien commander responded. But Commander Chen, these ships, they're unlike any Vraxen vessels I've encountered before. Their energy signatures are wrong. Sarah reached the facility's command center just as the first visual feeds came through. Her blood ran cold. The ships approaching Earth weren't just Vraxen vessels. They were monstrosities that seemed to be partially organic, their hulls writhing with what looked like living tissue. Admiral, she said quietly, I don't think we're just dealing with the Vraxen anymore, are we? Kexara's response was grim. No, Commander. It appears we've attracted the attention of something far worse. The real war is about to begin. Sarah squared her shoulders, watching as Earth's upgraded defense platforms powered up with their new Stellarate-enhanced systems. Whatever was coming, humanity would face it together, with their new allies, their inherited precursor technology, and most importantly, their unwavering determination to survive. Well then, she said, opening channels to all Earth defense forces, let's show them what humanity and its friends can do when backed into a corner. The final battle for Earth was about to begin, and the fate of not just humanity, but perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The true enemy, the hybrid Vraxen ships, filled Earth's orbital screens like a nightmare made real. Their biomechanical forms pulsed with sickly green energy, tendrils of living metal writhing across their hulls. Sarah Chen stood in Defense Platform Alpha 7's command center, studying the enemy fleet with growing concern. Analysis complete, Elena reported, her voice tense. These aren't just modified Vraxen ships. They've been infected with something we're calling the Nexus strain, a techno-organic virus that merges biological and mechanical systems. Admiral Kexara's skin had turned an ashen gray. The corruption. We thought it was just a legend, stories to frighten young ones. But the signs are unmistakable. Care to share with the class, Admiral? Sarah asked, not taking her eyes off the tactical display. The precursors didn't just vanish, Kexara explained. According to ancient records, they faced an enemy that could turn their own technology against them. An entity that consumed and corrupted everything it touched. We never thought. The Admiral was interrupted by a transmission that overrode all communication channels. The image that appeared on their screens showed a Vraxen, but one hideously transformed. Cybernetic implants burst from grey flesh, and its eyes glowed with an unnatural inner light. Children of Earth, the creature spoke, its voice a mechanical rasp. Your world holds the key. The precursor installation must be cleansed. Submit, and your species may yet serve a purpose in the new order. Sarah exchanged glances with Kexara. Friend of yours? Hive Commander Vexthor, Kexara replied grimly. He led the Vraxen's most ambitious expansion campaigns until his fleet disappeared 3 cycles ago. Now we know why. The corrupted Vraxen continued. Your primitive defenses cannot stand against evolutionary perfection. We are the next step. We are. Sarah cut the transmission with a gesture. Sorry, not in the mood for megalomaniacal monologues. Elena, what are our options? The scientist pulled up data from the precursor facility. The Stellarate-enhanced shields are holding, but these ships are unlike anything we modeled for. The Nexus strain appears to be actively adapting to our defenses. However, she highlighted a section of precursor data. I think I know why they're really here. The display showed complex energy patterns from the underwater installation. The facility isn't just a database or weapons platform. It's a key to something bigger. A network of precursor installations throughout the galaxy. If the corruption gets control of it, they could spread everywhere, Kexara finished. Your world would be just the beginning. Sarah's mind raced. What about that weapon you mentioned earlier? Elena nodded grimly. The Purifier. According to the precursor data, it was designed specifically to combat the corruption, but using it would require channeling massive amounts of stellarite energy. The backlash could tear apart the facility, maybe even destabilize the tectonic plate it sits on. Commander, Lieutenant Rodriguez called out. They're launching some kind of pods toward the ocean's surface. Biosignatures indicate, oh God. The tactical display showed thousands of objects descending toward Earth's oceans. Magnified images revealed them to be cybernetically enhanced troops, their bodies twisted by the same corruption as their ships. They're going after the facility directly, Sarah realized. Admiral, can your ship intercept? We'll try, Kexara replied, but my weapons were not designed for underwater combat at these depths. Sarah made a decision. Elena, get to the facility. Start preparing the Purifier. Admiral, coordinate with Earth's naval forces to slow down their assault. I'll handle things up here. Commander, Kexara's skin rippled with concern, if you're planning what I think you are. Those ships are biological now, Sarah said, which means they can bleed. She opened a channel to all Earth defense platforms. All units, switch to concentrated fire on these coordinates. Let's give our uninvited guests a proper welcome. The next hour was chaos. Earth's orbital defenses, enhanced by precursor technology, engaged the corrupted Vraxen fleet. The enemy ships were powerful, but Sarah watched as more enemy ships appeared through FTL portals. They were being overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Then she noticed something on her tactical display, a pattern in the enemy fleet's movements. Admiral, she called out, these ships, they're still connected to a central intelligence, aren't they? Like a hive mind. Yes, Kexara confirmed. The corruption maintains control through a psychic network. The transformed Vexthor would be the nexus point. Sarah's eyes locked onto the largest enemy vessel, its hull crawling with corrupted technology. Then that's our target. Elena, how long do you need? 10 minutes to full charge, came the response, accompanied by the sounds of weapon fire. You'll have it. All defense platforms, form up on my position. Admiral, I need your ship's main gun targeted on these coordinates. Lieutenant Rodriguez, prepare to divert all power to forward shields. Commander, Rodriguez protested. At that range, the energy backlash would tear this station apart. That's the idea, Sarah replied calmly. Sometimes to save the body, you have to cauterize the wound. On my mark. The next few minutes tested every skill Sarah had developed in her career. She coordinated Earth's defensive platforms in an intricate dance, drawing the enemy fleet into position while making it look like they were being pushed back. Purifier at 90%, Elena reported. Get ready, Sarah ordered. Admiral, status. In position, Kaxara replied. But Commander Chen, it has been an honor. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The honor's been mine. All units, execute. Everything happened at once. Defense Platform Alpha 7 overloaded its power core, creating a massive electromagnetic pulse that rippled through space. The corrupted ships, their biological components sensitive to such attacks, spasmed in confusion. At that exact moment, Kaxara's vessel fired its main weapon directly at Vexthor's flagship. The blast pierced the flagship's disrupted shields, striking its command center. Vexthor's psychic death scream echoed through every communication channel as his ship began to break apart. Now, Elena, fire the purifier. From the depths of the ocean, a brilliant blue-white beam erupted upward, carrying the concentrated power of Earth's stellarate deposits. It caught the fragments of Vexthor's ship, and something remarkable happened. The purifier's energy began to spread through the corrupted fleet's neural network, burning away the Nexus strain like a cleansing fire. Sarah watched from her fading station as ship after ship was purged, the corrupt biological components dissolving away. The few vessels that escaped via FTL looked almost normal again, regular Vraxan ships, freed from the corruption's influence. Status report, she called out, coughing as smoke filled the command center. Purifier successful, Elena's tired voice replied. The facility is damaged but intact. The corruption's presence has been eliminated from Earth's solar system. Commander, Rodriguez reported, structural integrity at 12%. We need to evacuate. Sarah nodded. Get everyone to the escape pods. And someone make sure we save all the data from this battle. The rest of the galaxy needs to know what happened here. As emergency systems blared around her, Sarah took one last look at the tactical display. Earth had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. More importantly, they had proven themselves worthy of the precursor's legacy. Commander Chen, Kaxara's voice came through clearly despite the chaos. I believe it's time we discussed humanity's official invitation to join the Stellar Dominion. Your people have more than earned their place among the stars. Sarah smiled as she made her way to the escape pod. Happy to discuss it, Admiral. But first, I believe you owe me a drink. The battle was over, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. Earth had announced its presence to the galaxy in spectacular fashion. The road ahead would be challenging, but humanity had proven they were ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them. As her escape pod launched toward Earth, Sarah watched Defense Platform Alpha 7 break apart, its sacrifice having helped save not just humanity, but perhaps the entire galaxy. Not bad for a species that had only recently mastered spaceflight. The stars seemed to shine brighter now, full of promise and possibility. Humanity's next great adventure was about to begin. Legacy of the Stars. 1 month after the Battle of Earth, Sarah Chen stood before a different kind of challenge. The newly formed Galactic Council chamber in Geneva. The massive room, built in record time using a combination of human and Stellar Dominion technology, hosted representatives from Earth's nations and various alien species who had arrived after news of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy. The defeat of the corruption had changed everything. Earth was no longer just another developing world. They were the species that had successfully wielded precursor technology and defeated an enemy that had threatened the galaxy for millennia. The activation of the Purifier did more than just defeat the corrupted Vraxan fleet. Elena explained to the assembled delegates, her holographic presentations floating in the air. It sent a signal across space, awakening dormant precursor installations throughout the galaxy. Each one contains different aspects of their legacy, technology, history, knowledge we're only beginning to understand. Admiral Kexara, now Earth's official liaison to the Stellar Dominion, stepped forward. The alien's skin rippled with patterns of gold and blue, colors of pride and optimism, Sarah had learned. The precursors didn't choose humanity by accident, Kexara announced. The genetic markers they encoded in their technology, the compatibility with human neural patterns. They saw something in your species' potential, something that even we of the Stellar Dominion had missed. Sarah took her turn at the podium, looking out at the diverse gathering of humans and aliens. Over the past month, we've made incredible discoveries. The precursor facility beneath our ocean has revealed only a fraction of its secrets. But perhaps the most important thing we've learned is this: we were never meant to face the challenges of space alone. She gestured to the massive window behind her, where Earth's first true starship was under construction in orbit. Its hull gleamed with a distinctive blue shimmer of stellarite-enhanced materials. The Endurance, Sarah continued, represents more than just humanity's first faster-than-light vessel. It represents a partnership between species, a combination of technologies and ideas, and it will lead our first major expedition to explore the awakened precursor installations. The announcement caused excited murmurs throughout the chamber. The ship's construction had been kept secret until now, though its massive scale made it impossible to hide completely. Commander Chen will lead the expedition, Kexara added, to Sarah's surprise. They hadn't discussed this part. Along with a combined crew of humans and Stellar Dominion personnel, the Vraxen, now freed from the corruption's influence, have also requested to send representatives. They seek to make amends for their actions. Sarah recovered quickly from her surprise. Our mission has 3 primary objectives. First, to establish contact with other civilizations and help coordinate the study of precursor installations in their territories. Second, to ensure no trace of the corruption remains to threaten our galaxy. And third, to understand why the precursors chose this moment in history to share their legacy. Elena stepped forward again, bringing up new holographic displays. We've already made significant progress in adapting precursor technology for peaceful purposes. Medical breakthroughs, clean energy solutions, environmental restoration, the applications are endless. But perhaps most importantly, we've learned that the precursors left failsafes in their technology. It can't be used for conquest or destruction. It's designed to foster cooperation and growth. The presentation continued with technical details and diplomatic proposals, but Sarah found her mind wandering to the challenges ahead. The Endurance would carry humanity's hopes and dreams to the stars, but it would also face unknown dangers. The galaxy was vast, and not every species would welcome Earth's sudden rise to prominence. After the council session, Sarah found herself in the Geneva Botanical Gardens with Kexara. The alien admiral seemed particularly fascinated by Earth's plant life, studying each specimen with multiple eyes. "You could have warned me about the expedition commander announcement," Sarah said, though there was no real anger in her voice. "Would you have agreed if I had asked beforehand?" Kexara's skin rippled with amusement. "Probably not," Sarah admitted. "I'm not exactly a diplomat, which is precisely why you're the perfect choice. You understand both the military and scientific aspects of our mission. More importantly, you've demonstrated an ability to bring different species together toward a common goal." Sarah watched as a butterfly landed on one of Kexara's upper arms, causing the alien's skin to shift in surprise. "There's something else, isn't there? Something you haven't told the council." Kexara's color shifted to a more serious tone. The precursor installations, they're not just dormant technology waiting to be claimed. They're pieces of a puzzle. Each one contains part of a message, a warning perhaps. The facility under your ocean was just the first key. A warning about what? That's what we need to discover. Kexara gestured to the sky, now dotted with the shapes of various alien vessels in orbit. The corruption may have been defeated here, but it was only one manifestation of a greater threat. The precursors disappeared for a reason, Commander Chen, and I believe they chose humanity to help ensure their fate doesn't befall the rest of us. Sarah absorbed this information, watching as construction drones swarmed around the Endurance in orbit. Well then, I suppose we'd better make sure this expedition succeeds. When do we leave? Final preparations will take 2 weeks. The Vraxan representatives arrive tomorrow, former members of Vexthor's fleet who were freed from the corruption. They bring star charts marking possible precursor sites in unexplored regions. And Earth's defenses. The combined fleet of Earth and Stellar Dominion ships will maintain a protective perimeter. The Stellarite shields are fully operational, and the precursor facility continues to provide new defensive technologies. Your world is safer now than it has ever been. Sarah nodded, her mind already planning for the journey ahead. We'll need a strong science team. Elena has to come. No one understands precursor tech better. And Lieutenant Rodriguez already volunteered, Kexara confirmed, along with specialists from 12 different Earth nations and 8 Stellar Dominion worlds. The Endurance will carry the most diverse crew ever assembled. Looking up at the massive ship under construction, Sarah felt a familiar mix of excitement and apprehension. This wasn't just another mission. It was the beginning of humanity's true journey into the cosmos. Whatever mysteries or dangers awaited them, they would face them together. You know, she said thoughtfully, when I was a kid watching old science fiction shows, I never imagined first contact would lead to all this. I thought it would be simple. Either they'd come in peace or we'd have to fight them off. Kexara's skin shifted through patterns that suggested deep thought. Reality is rarely so simple, but perhaps that's what makes your species unique. Your ability to adapt to complexity, to find solutions that others miss. The precursors saw this potential in you. Now it's time to prove them right. As the sun set over Geneva, casting golden light across the botanical gardens, Sarah Chen contemplated the journey ahead. Tomorrow, she would begin crew selections and mission briefings. The Endurance would carry them into unknown regions of space, seeking answers to questions that had puzzled advanced civilizations for millennia. But for now, she simply enjoyed this moment of peace, watching Earth's ancient trees sway in the breeze while alien ships glided silently overhead. It was a perfect symbol of humanity's new reality, a bridge between their past and their future among the stars. The real adventure was about to begin. New beginnings. The Endurance hung in Earth's orbit like a dream made real. Its mile-long hull gleamed with stellarite-enhanced alloys, a perfect fusion of human innovation and precursor technology. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, watching as the last supply shuttles docked with practiced precision. Final crew manifest confirmed. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his new position as first officer. 270 humans from 28 nations, 85 Stellar Dominion representatives, 30 reformed Vraxan, and, he paused, double-checking his display, one very excited xenobiologist who won't stop running experiments on the hull plating. Sarah smiled, knowing Elena was probably already deep in her new laboratory, surrounded by both Earth and alien scientists. Status of the Stellarite drive. Operating at optimal efficiency, Kexara answered, the Admiral's skin shimmering with anticipation. The precursor designs have been fully integrated with our systems. We can reach any charted installation within days rather than years. The bridge itself was a testament to interspecies cooperation. Human holographic displays merged seamlessly with Stellar Dominion biotechnology. Reformed Vraxan navigation systems, purged of corruption and enhanced with precursor algorithms, plotted courses through space with unprecedented accuracy. Commander, Elena's excited voice came through the comm. You need to see this. The ship, it's learning. Sarah exchanged glances with Kexara before heading to the main laboratory. They found Elena surrounded by floating holographic displays, her eyes wide with wonder. The precursor technology isn't just compatible with our systems, she explained, pulling up diagnostic data. It's actively improving them. Watch this. She initiated a simulation of the ship's faster-than-light drive. The stellarite energy flowed through the systems, but instead of following fixed patterns, it adapted and optimized in real time. It's like the ship has its own consciousness, Elena continued. Not artificial intelligence as we understand it, but something more organic. The precursors didn't just give us technology, they gave us a partner for our journey. Sarah studied the data, remembering the facility under Earth's ocean. Any more insights into why they chose humanity? Actually, yes. Elena pulled up genetic sequences. It's not just about compatibility. The precursors left markers in their technology that resonate with specific aspects of human DNA. But here's the fascinating part. These markers are also present, in varying degrees, in stellar dominion species and even the Vraxen. They weren't looking for a single chosen species, Kexara realized, skin-shifting to patterns of deep thought. They were waiting for different species to learn to work together. Exactly, Elena beamed. The corruption spread by forcing uniformity, consuming and converting everything to its singular purpose. The precursor's legacy, their technology, it only works through diversity, through cooperation. They didn't just leave us tools, they left us a philosophy. Their discussion was interrupted by an alert from the bridge. Commander, Rodriguez called, we're receiving a transmission from the Geneva Council. They've decoded more data from the precursor network. Multiple installations are showing signs of activation. Back on the bridge, Sarah watched as a galactic map displayed dozens of newly awakened precursor sites. They formed a pattern, a path leading into unexplored regions of space. They're calling us forward, she mused, leading us somewhere. The question is, Kexara added, are we ready for what we'll find? Sarah looked around the bridge at her diverse crew. Humans working alongside aliens who had been enemies just months ago, all united in purpose. She thought of how far they'd come since that first contact, how much they'd learned and grown. Send word to the council, she ordered. The Endurance is ready for launch. It's time to follow the precursor's path. The next hour was a flurry of final preparations. Across the ship, crew members made last-minute checks and sent final messages to loved ones. Sarah recorded her own log entry, knowing it would be preserved in Earth's historical archives. Ship's log, Commander Sarah Chen, birth date December 21, 2157. Humanity has dreamed of this moment since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what lay beyond. We go forward not as conquerors or mere explorers, but as part of something greater. The precursors left us more than technology. They left us a chance to prove that different species can work together, that diversity is strength, and that the greatest achievements come not from domination, but cooperation. She paused, looking out at the Earth below. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of not just humanity, but all species who believe in a future worth building together. The path ahead may be challenging, but we face it united. End log. All stations report ready, Rodriguez announced. Stellar Dominion escort vessels in position. Earth Defense Command standing by. Sarah took her command chair, feeling the subtle hum of stellarite energy through the deck plates. Send final transmission to Earth Control. Endurance is commencing its mission. The massive ship's engines began to glow with brilliant blue light. In orbit, other vessels moved respectfully aside as the Endurance aligned itself with its first destination. Stellarite drive engaging, Kexara reported. Course laid in for the nearest precursor signal. Take us out, Lieutenant Rodriguez, Sarah ordered. Let's see what the precursors left for us to find. The Endurance's drive flared to life, creating a sphere of shimmering energy around the ship. As they prepared to make their first faster-than-light jump, Sarah felt a profound sense of rightness. This was why humanity had looked to the stars for so long, not just to explore, but to find others who shared their dreams of a better future. Jump in 3, 2, 1. The Endurance vanished in a flash of light, leaving Earth behind, but carrying its spirit forward. Whatever lay ahead, new discoveries, challenges, or even threats, they would face it together. human and alien, united in purpose, embarking on humanity's greatest journey. The stars beckoned, full of mystery and promise, and Sarah Chen, along with her diverse crew, was ready to answer their call. The next chapter in the story of life in the galaxy was about to begin. The Endurance's mission had started, but in many ways, this was just the beginning. Somewhere out there, the Precursor's final message waited to be discovered, and humanity, together with their new allies, would be the ones to find it. As they traveled faster than light toward their first destination, Sarah smiled. The universe was vast, but they weren't alone anymore. Together, they would write the next chapter in the story of life among the stars.